Anyway, we
Guys.
digress. We'll move on to our next story that got a lot of heat yesterday.
So a Dubai PR freelancer got scammed out of 8,000 dirhams, and it's just not okay. So a young 24-year-old PR freelancer shared her account of when she got duped out of 8,000 dirhams, and the ordeal is just all too relatable for freelancers everywhere. And a Dubai-based fashion designer, so this is how it started. A Dubai-based fashion designer was looking to organize an event back in February 2020 and got in touch with this PR freelancer. And when speaking to Lovin Dubai, the freelancer wrote, the designer wanted special PR boxes with lights made, etc., and she wanted an influencer event. Now, she started production, helped with her social media content, and did a lot of extra stuff without charging her. And she went on to add that the boxes were sent out to each influencer. Stories came in, everything was fine, her socials were up to date, and then comes the day of the event. The freelancer got her a venue, hired people, got the activities done. The full event was set up from A to Z. And then the designer paid half of the freelancer's fees in advance and was meant to pay the balance on the day of the event. However, post the event, the client started listing out excuses, example, the production was late, and etc., for why the full payment should not be made.
Unfortunately, this is a story we've seen before, and in this case, when the two parties finally got to meet to settle the payment, the designer apparently started nitpicking on the small details, and she only ended up paying 1,000 dirham instead of the 8,000 that was initially agreed. So when the freelancer refused to accept this 1K, she was like, look, I'm not taking that 1K, it's not enough, you said 8. She said, I hope karma serves you well, and I'm worth much more than that, which I applaud. It's like, I'm not taking this 1,000. We had said 8K. She obviously values her work at 8K, which was expected to be.
Of course, a lot of that's what happens, right? Like they put in their money into the event and then they get reimbursed for it later. And like the payments are not only for all of your expenses, but it's for your time, for your expertise, for your contacts and all of that. So
it's so sad, but it's unfortunately a story we've heard before.
Very true. But one thing, like we put this up on our Instagram and our social pages, but one thing everyone is like, you have to be so mindful of is drawing up contracts. Always have your contracts drawn up and have both the parties signing it. So, you know, it's written on paper that this is what we're agreeing on. This is the payment that we're agreeing on. These are the terms and conditions. So everything is outlined from the very beginning and clear. So if anything goes wrong at the end, you have it in writing, like this is what it is. And if anything, you can take action with that.
Yeah, and on top of that, you also need your license. So you need your freelancer license and a contract. And the thing is, you have agencies charging up here, and then you have kind of freelancer new to the game charging down here. And what can happen is these prices are extortionate, so people will go down here and then expect to pay a lot less money and then sometimes not to pay up. The number of stories shared about freelancers getting a raw cut of the deal are many.
That's so true, but I honestly, like, we've gotten so many stories of scammers from both parts, you know, like freelancers scamming the clients scamming the freelancers. So it happens both ways, and that's where I feel contracts are so important, because it is in the interest of both the parties. So that way the freelancer knows exactly what his jobs and description, like the JD is, and then the client knows exactly how much is going to be credited to the freelancer once the
100%. Like it's all in hindsight, it's all 100% makes so much sense. But your heart goes out to this particular story. From his or her point of view, they put in X number of months of work. You like that work. If they happen to have a job at an agency, that work would have been charged. They would have charged a lot more money. And then at the end of it, to just get a really, really raw cut of the deal, and then to be just treated like you just feel this small at the end of that.
Very true.
More stories on freelancers. If you have anything like that, do share with us. We're getting a lot through, and it'll be quite interesting, I guess, to curate them all.